Okay, so for chapter 6, we are talking about numbers and counting. And so there are some different sets of numbers we should be familiar with. The real numbers, this is basically any numbers you can think of. Not anything with an I in it, not imaginary numbers. So they're the real numbers. There are, what do we want to talk about next? Rational numbers, let's go there. Rational numbers. These are numbers that can be written as a fraction. Of two integers, and we'll talk about what integers are next. An integer are the numbers that you, like positive and negative numbers that you would think of. So -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3. This goes on and on. And then we should do whole numbers next. Whole numbers are going to be, it's going to start with 0 and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. And then the natural numbers leave out 0. So it's the positive integers. So this would be 1, you're counting numbers, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so some true and false questions. All integers are whole numbers. That is not true, right? You have all the negative ones would not be. Every whole number, sorry, I'm going to number 3. Every whole number is positive. No, because 0 isn't positive or negative. Integers are not rational numbers. That's false. Integers are rational numbers. Oh, integers are rational. You could write that as, like, I don't know, if you're talking about 7, it could be written as 7 over 1, which is a fraction of 2 integers. Rational numbers are not integers. This is true. Not all of them are. So, like, 1/2 is a rational number, but not an integer. Okay, so what's the only difference between whole numbers and natural numbers? It's 0. That 0 is included with the whole numbers. Okay, so I have drawn this diagram because drawing it on the fly would take me lots of time and be useless to you. But this diagram is going to help us see what's going on here. So the natural numbers are your counting numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and on. The whole numbers are those plus 0. The integers are all the negatives of the natural numbers and then 0, and also the natural numbers, so the integers are out here. And then rational numbers are ratios of all of those. Rational numbers are the ratio of a bunch of integers, so it's the integers plus things. Out this big box is the real numbers. So this little guy is what we call the irrational numbers. This would be like pi or e, things that can't be written as a fraction, that can't be reduced to a fraction. be written as a fraction. All right, so that's sort of how it works. They build, it builds, which is nice. I meant to delete this. We will do this in class when we get there, just to make sure we all understand what's going on. But I wanted to also talk about this stuff in this video. So some properties of real numbers, these symbols, I think we know what these mean, but we'll talk about them. So this is less than, so like 2 is less than 3. This is a greater than symbol, so 3 is greater than 2. This is less than or equal to. So 2 is less than or equal to 3, or 3 is less than or equal to 3. You know what, either one of those works. This is greater than or equal to. So 3 is greater than or equal to 2, or 3 is greater than or equal to 3. I don't know, some people talk about like an alligator would go toward the side with more fish. I don't know if alligators even eat fish, but so you have like 4 is greater than 2 because the alligator's mouth would open this way to get the 4 fish. Okay, so we have, then every real number has an additive inverse. That's just talking about 0. 0, you can add 0 to something and you get the something back. So why doesn't 0 have an opposite? Well, think about like a distance from, so 0's here, and there is nothing that has the opposite side on the number line that is the same distance from 0, because there is no distance from 0. So 0 doesn't have an opposite. But if you look at like -5 and 5, so -5 and 5, they are both 5 units away from 0. And that is how you know that it's the opposite, that it would get you, if you were like traveling, that it would get you back. So the notation we use is negative. Sorry, I already did that. So -5. Okay, so the absolute value measures distance from 0. So the absolute value of 17, how far is 17 from 0? It's 17 spaces away. How far is -8 from 0? So here's 0, here's -8. What is this distance? It's 8. And so that's how you do the absolute value. And there are your order, less than, greater than symbols. I said that. This should be a than, sorry. And I think that covers it. So knowing how these numbers are classified is important, and we'll do some practice with it. We'll do these when we get to class.